What's up? What's up? What's up? It's James Brown of Basketball Commentary. What's going on, y'all? It's your man, Stephen Bardo, coming at you with another edition of Bardo's Breakdown. Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Wanted to get into the NBA preseason because a lot of teams had media days today. And I know that when I've been doing the college basketball stuff, there's been a lot of people that will come and ask questions about the NBA. So we wanted to wait until the preseason started. The media days, some of them were today. The majority will be tomorrow. Kevin McDuffie, M. Evans, 122. What's good? Thank you for jumping on. How's everybody doing today? Captain Fletcher, AJ Guyton. What's good, brother? Good to see you, man. That's Peoria's finest right there. What's going on, AJ? Glad you could jump on, man. Yeah, I just wanted to oh, wow, Kevin McDuffie. I'll send a prayer for you, brother. I hope all is well. You all know that Kevin McDuffie is a tribe member, and he's waiting on test results, so hopefully they come back negative. I'll pray for you, my man. Stay strong. Ill Will 5422. Thanks for jumping on. So we want to go through this NBA preseason, kind of like see where the cards have been shuffled because everything is kind of falling into place now. There were some restricted free agents that were waiting to sign with their respective teams when all the trades and the draft picks and the shuffling of the deck. So we've kind of got a little sense of it, and I want to touch on it a little bit. So the NBA preseason will start 12/11/22. So that's when the preseason games will start. So they're working out now, and they have position, like the guards will work out, the wings will work out, and the bigs will work out. They have to be very careful about full team workouts right now. So they're doing position workouts. But at some point here in the next couple of days, I believe I read where teams will start to come together and start preparing for these preseason games, which starts 12/11 here right around the corner. And then the regular season is 3 weeks from today, December 22nd. We start tipping up the 2020-2021 NBA season. So that's really right around the corner for the Los Angeles Lakers and Miami Heat. I know those guys are probably like, man, we got to get back in training camp. So you probably won't see a lot of the starters from either of those teams in preseason games, and you may not see them really playing heavy minutes in the month of December, at least until they get into January and, allow them to let their bodies acclimate slower than normal. Kevin asked a good question. So does each team get the same number of preseason games? Kevin, I think so. But again, as you're seeing with NFL, as you're seeing with college football, as you're starting to see with college basketball and collegiate sports, things get shut down when COVID hits. So I'm under the assumption, Kevin, I'm not exactly sure that each team gets the same amount of preseason games. I would think they would. But again, they have to build in flexibility for COVID because if, players get sick or something, they have to shut it down. So good question. I think all of them would schedule the equal amount, but depending on COVID, they have to stay fluid and flexible. The top NBA roster makeovers, in my opinion, not in this order, but I think these are the top four: Atlanta Hawks, Phoenix Suns, New Orleans Pelicans, and Los Angeles Lakers. Let me know what you guys think about that. I want to hear your thoughts on that. The Atlanta Hawks, Phoenix Suns, New Orleans Pelicans, and Los Angeles Lakers. Now, if you guys are members of the Bardo's Breakdown tribe, you know how high I am on Drew Holiday. I think Drew Holiday is one of the best players in the league. So when he got traded away from New Orleans and went to Milwaukee, I thought, wow, that's a big blow. I didn't realize that Steven Adams is now with the New Orleans Pelicans. So you have a starting lineup of Steven Adams at the 5, Zion Williamson at the 4, Brandon Ingram at the 3, J.J. Redick at the 2, and you can go Lonzo Ball or Kyra Lewis, who was the first round, the lottery pick for New Orleans Pelicans, point guard Alabama. I love Kyra Lewis. So you can go either or. One is light speed, one is the speed of sound. Both of them fast as hell, right? So the Pelicans can play fast. Well, it doesn't matter which point guard you go. Steven Adams, to me, is one of the best defensive bigs in the league. He's an excellent passer. He can score when given the opportunity. He seems like a great teammate because everybody spoke so highly of him at Oklahoma City that, to me, the Pelicans, man, they got a heck of a lineup. And I know some people will be like, why did you put the Pelicans in there? I can see the Hawks, Suns, and Lakers based on what they did. But if you look at what the Pelicans have done, Derek, what is Derek's last name? They lost the power forward. He went back to Utah. He signed a 3-year, Derek Favors. He leaves the New Orleans Pelicans. He goes back to Utah, signs a 3-year, $30 million contract. So those are the rosters that I like. Let me see what my tribe has to say here, because y'all know how they get down. My man, Donovan Lane from Singapore. Good to see you, brother. Good morning or good evening, whatever it is over there. I always appreciate your support. What happened with Otto Porter with the Bulls? I heard they're about to trade that bad contract. Well, I'm sure that they have floated that around, thus the pickup of Patrick Williams. You still want to see what Hutchinson can do because he's been often injured. But you've got Zach LaVine, you've got Patrick Williams, you got Satoransky, who can play 3 different positions. You got a lot of depth. Denzel Valentine, who can play the point or the wing. So you've got a lot of versatility in that position. So I'm not sure if that trade is actually going to go through, because I'm not sure. Otto Porter, to me, is not a rebuild type of player. He's the type of player that will enhance a playoff team. Pardon me, or a team that's trying to get into the playoffs like the Atlanta Hawks or the Phoenix Suns. He would seem to be a better fit in that scenario than just being traded to unload a bad contract. Now, I could be wrong, but that's kind of how I see that scenario. Eddie Wells, what's good? Oh, so my man Eddie Wells started on IG. Now he's over here on Facebook. Good to see you, Eddie. Let's see. I know this is an NBA show, but dang, we have Michigan State versus Duke, Kentucky versus Kansas in a few hours. Jeff, come on now. You know what's up, Colin One. Jeff, you know how we get down, man. You know I got you covered. That'll be later. But we're going to talk NBA right now. I got you covered. Stay tuned. What's up, Al Grigsby? At work, want to jump on and show support. Al, the Grigsby family and the Bardo family grew up together in Carbondale. This is Al's like family. So, my man, thank you, brother, for getting on. I know you got to go soon, but I appreciate you jumping on. Let's see. Don't like the fit with Holiday. Okay, wait a minute, Captain Fletcher. Why don't you like the fit with Drew Holiday in Milwaukee? Drew Holiday's a beast. He's one of the best two-way guards in the league. He's not a volume shooter. He doesn't need 25 shots a game to average 15 to 18 points. He can run the point. He can be an off guard. He can guard threes, sometimes switch to fours because he's an excellent defender. I don't understand why you don't like the fit. Now, he may not stretch the floor as well as some guards in his classification, but he does everything else better than all those other guards that you would put together with Drew Holiday. So I don't understand. What do you say? Why do you dislike the fit? Phoenix will still be at the bottom of the West regardless of the Chris Paul move, says Donovan Lane. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I'm talking about. Y'all want to be a member of the tribe because Bardo's breakdowns come strong. That's two ideas or two topics that I'm like, I disagree with, but I love it because now it makes me think, like, why would Donovan, because Donovan's so knowledgeable, why would he think the Phoenix would still be on the bottom when they were 8-0 in the bubble, right? Didn't they have an 8-0 run? And you know, they got in, didn't they? Or they were right there. They were knocking on the door. And Devin Booker had to do a lot of work. Now you can slide Devin Booker off, and he can damn near lead the league in scoring. And you got Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder is one of the best veterans you can get. So now you not only get a guy that can space the floor, that can guard three positions in Jay Crowder. You've got leadership. You've got a guy that's been in winning programs. What is there not to like? And then wait a minute, let's go and look. Let me look because I was looking here and I can bring this up on the screen. But let me check. Because Donovan is very knowledgeable, just like everybody else on Bardo's breakdown. But let me see here because I may be able to pull this up for you guys. All right. The Phoenix Suns roster. And right when we want to go live, the stuff don't want to work. Yeah. MPLSGO. Thanks for jumping on. Kevin says a 5 seed in the West. Ooh, that's pretty good. Wow, this thing is not loading. Come on now. Oh, here we go. All right. So the Phoenix Suns picked up Jay Crowder, veteran. They picked up Etuan Moore, who's a dog. I covered Etuan Moore at Purdue. He's been a consummate pro. He can average double figures in 15 minutes a game. He's that efficient. Another guard. They got 6'10", pogo stick, Tariq Owens, shot blocker. Damian Jones, 6'11", 245, shot blocker. Mikal Bridges from Villanova, who has got 2 years under his belt, right? This kid can play. Villanova wing. DeAndre Ayton at center, 6'11". They got Saric. They brought Dario Saric back, 6'10". Jonathan Motley from Baylor, tough. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Tyshawn Alexander, who can flat out play. That kid from Creighton, he is a two-way guard in the mode of Drew Holiday. He's not as good as Drew Holiday yet, but he has that potential. And Jalen Stick-Smith, 6'10" in the stretch forward position, can shoot the three, doesn't mind banging, from Maryland. Dude, I think Phoenix really upgraded their situation. Do you not like their coaching situation? Donovan, is that what it is? Let me know what you think, man. Because I respect your opinion. Nikki Lane Perkins jumps on just in time when I'm talking about her brother. It's like these two are, even though Nikki's here in Chi-Town, Donovan's over in Singapore, they seem to be on the same wavelength all the time. But Nikki, why is your brother not like? Why does Donovan think that Phoenix is going to be in the bottom of the West regardless of Chris Paul coming to Phoenix? AJ Guyton, definitely those first three. Not sure about the Lakers move. I think losing Howard and Rondo were huge losses. Not sure about the Schroeder move. Chemistry with that team may be a question. All right, AJ. Okay. Here's what I think about that. Dwight Howard is a headache. He's talented. He's big. He's good defensively, but you got to babysit his big ass. And when you're grown and you're making NBA checks like AJ Guyton has, you know what I'm talking about. You ain't trying to babysit a 33-year-old man. You're not trying to soothe him and calm him down because his emotions are out of whack. That's Philly. Philly got enough chemistry problems. And Doc Rivers is the soothsayer can burn sage, can do all that. I love Doc Rivers. That's my dude. I played with Doc. Love Doc. I don't know if Doc even wanted that. Dwight Howard in the mix with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, already chemistry issues. Nah, man. I think it's a what do they call it? Addition by subtraction. Now, Rondo will hurt. The loss of Rondo, because Rondo's presence on any team is going to be, he's a consensus builder. He's a leader. He still puts it down on the court. He's a future NBA coach. I get that loss. I like Schroeder because there's a lot of times when you saw Los Angeles, if LeBron didn't have his cape on doing everything, and then AD had his Robin suit on, the Lakers struggled. Now you're coming off a shortened offseason. You got a quick restart. You need guys who can put the ball in the hole. Schroeder can score. Wes Matthews, remember the Lakers signed Wes Matthews. He can stretch the floor, and he's a good defender, right? So I like the Lakers move. I think it really enhanced what they did. They lose Danny Green. They bring in another 3-and-D type, Wes Matthews. They lose Rondo. They bring in Dennis Schroeder, who can score that thing, can play the point, can move off the point. I like him. He was an integral part of what Oklahoma City did this past year. So I like what the Lakers did. Respect your opinion always, AJ, and thanks for jumping on, man. Good to see you on here. Hope to see you more often. Man, what about Murray State scoring 173 points? I got to check that, Captain. I saw a blurb on that, but I got to check that. So thank you for bringing that up. Somebody says, I love the Suns. What's up, Corey Lockwood? I like Schroeder as a starter. He can take the load off LBJ so LBJ won't have to dominate the rock. I agree. He can take a lot of pressure off AD and LBJ. Schroeder can score 20 points a game, but he doesn't have to. And anybody that comes to Batman and Robin's team, they know that they're not going to be the main offensive cog. That's a move to be a supportive guy to win a championship. I think he understands that. Captain Fletcher asked, will Miami return to the finals? Here's something that fell kind of quiet on everybody. Do you all know what the Boston Celtics did? The Boston Celtics went and got Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson is one of the best rebounders in the NBA. That was one of the weaknesses of the Celtics, was defensive and offensive rebounding. Tristan Thompson may be the best offensive rebounder in the NBA. Willing defender, and believe this or not, he can shoot the three-point shot. He's been working tirelessly in the offseason to be able to be a stretch 4, stretch 5. If he can do that and be able to clear the lane for Jalen Tatum and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because now you got Gordon Hayward out of there. So now you don't have a logjam at the wing position, and those two young boys can hunt. And now you got Tristan Thompson being a rim protector and being able to space on the offensive end. Boston got real good, real quiet. All right. Nikki Lang Perkins says, what's LA's plan for Kuzma? Can they get something for him? That is a great question, because I think he's probably a nice young man, Nikki. He's too inconsistent. Anytime there's a player with that kind of potential that has been around LeBron James for 2 years and their game doesn't elevate, that tells me something about that young man. He's either not working on his game or there's some mental issue or something going on, because when you're around the best player in the game, some say if he wins 2 more titles, some say he'll be talked about as the greatest ever. When you're around that kind of greatness and nothing rubs off, you don't become any better. There's no part of your game that gets better. You see what I'm saying? The inconsistency there, Nikki. I'm not sure his trade value is there. I really don't. I have nothing personal against the kid. He seems like a nice young man. He's a good-looking young man. You know, when his game is on, he's on. But, boy, when his confidence is shot, Y'all remember Rick Ankiel, the baseball player, was cold, could ball. And then he had a hitch. He simply couldn't even throw the ball. Couldn't throw the ball. He was so talented, they changed positions for him to try to get over that middle block. It's just some athletes get the yips. They get something in their head and they can't get it out. To me, that's Kyle Kuzma. So great question as always, Nikki. All players around Bron don't get better. I have stats to prove it. Kevin. Okay, Kevin. He says all players around LeBron don't get better. Right. Raise your hand if you've worked with people who, if Jesus was next to them, they wouldn't get better. Raise your hand. I'm going to raise both of them, Kevin, because certain people don't have greatness in them, regardless of who's around them. Kyle Kuzma, maybe one of those guys. He may have been gifted with a 6'9" frame, but a heart that needs to be in an office setting where everything is planned and static, where it's not moving fast. You got to make decisions. If you make the wrong decision, you're getting slammed on social media, and it affects your ball game. It affects your ability to work. So I don't doubt that what you're saying is not true, Kevin. But my point is, all of us have worked with people who, if they got whatever they needed, they still wouldn't do shit with it. That's just reality. That's reality. And I think, to me, that's what Kyle Kuzma has shown in his body of work in his game. He has gotten no better, and he's had a lot of people around him to watch and emulate, and he hadn't gotten any better. So, okay, Nick, I got you. I got you. Let's see. Okay, AJ Guyton agreed with what I was saying about that. They beat Greenville 173-95. All right, Captain. So Murray, was it Murray State? Is that who it was? Right now, you're going to see sometimes teams like that play one another because, oh man, dang, I skipped over a lot. Hold on. Because of COVID and certain teams dropping out and they having to get a quick replacement. Greenville might be a Division II, Division III NAIA school. You never know. So, yeah, that's a crazy score, but I'm not surprised. Let's see. Atlanta adding Gallinari, Bogdanovich, and Snell to a group that finished with a three-point percentage of 33%, coupled with Rondo Dunn and Clint Capella's defense prowess will help all-around progress to make playoffs. I totally agree. Listen to what this user said. It's probably somebody from Bardo's breakdown that is not showing up for whatever reason. Gallinari is 6'10" and can play like a wing player. Bogdanovich is one of the best shooters in the NBA. Tony Snell is an excellent reserve guard. 6'7", excellent defender, right? Now, you got Rajon Rondo to really mentor Trae Young. You've got Chris Dunn, who in Chicago never really got better, was a good, great defender, but to me, he's like Kyle Kuzma. That's how he came into the league. He's a lottery pick. Chris Dunn's a lottery pick out of Providence. Was a great defender of Providence. His offensive game has not improved one iota, right? So maybe a change of scenery, a team that's building for the playoffs, a team that has a veteran like Rajon Rondo. Son, if you ain't getting to the gym, what you doing? Rondo will call you out. That's what Chris Dunn needs, in my opinion, because he stopped working on his game. See, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be in an NBA practice. All you have to do is put the body of work in front of you. And if their shooting percentage, if Chris Dunn and Kyle Kuzma's shooting percentage doesn't get any better year to year, what does that tell you? One of two things. They're either not working or something's mental, right? I don't know what's worse, because the mental piece you may not be able to overcome. The work piece, if you don't work, I can't help you, right? Coach Chuck 10, good to see you. So Dunn may be better in Atlanta than he was in Chicago. Let's hope, because the kid has a horrific story growing up, how he and his brother had to fend for themselves. It's incredible. I think most Chicago people know about it, but if you don't know Chris Dunn's story, go look it up, because it's a hell of a story of overcoming adversity. I love the young man. I covered him in college. I got to know him a little bit, but I got to keep it real. He stopped working on his game. Rico Moai, original member of the tribe. What's good, brother? I see, this is what I think. Greek Freak needs Drew Holiday. You watch how good Greek Freak is going to be this year, when he doesn't have to, break down and muscle to the rim 15 times a game and get knocked to the floor and all that stuff. And in the playoffs, he got nothing left. He has to work too hard in the regular season. So he can get those 30, 35 in the regular season. But what happens in the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen? Clamp down. All right, Giannis, it's 5 of us. We got a foot in the paint. You can throw over here to this three-pointer, and we'll close out on them. You can drill penetrate, but you about to see 2 defenders every time. But you can't do that with Drew Holiday on the court. Because, see, you can put Giannis on the wing. You put Drew on the ball, he'll rock a dude to sleep. Drew Holiday will leave Victoria's Secret on the deck. He will shake you out your drawers. He'll post you up. He can bang the mid-range jumper. If you leave him open, he can stick the 3. He can take a lot of pressure off Greek Freak, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, don't sleep on Drew Holiday. He's not been in big markets, so he's not a household name. But if you go look, Google NBA's most underrated players, and then come back and tell me what you find. See, Rico Moai, I wouldn't call Bledsoe garbage and not multidimensional. But again, Eric Bledsoe, take his career numbers. Look at his shooting percentage. Did it get any better? You had the Greek Freak on your team. You had the NBA MVP on your team. So your role is limited. You don't have to do a bunch of stuff. You got to do 1, 2, maybe 3 things well. He got paid. Y'all remember he got paid. I believe Bledsoe's on a $60 million deal, something crazy like that. And you can't improve your percentage? This is 500 jumpers a day, 1,000 a day. Rico Moai, I agree. The Holiday pickup was huge. I'm digging the Holiday move, even though they needed a Rondo or Paul as well. I don't disagree with that, AJ. That's a good call on that. I don't disagree with that. Rico Moai says the Suns with CP3 will give them structure offensively, make it easy for Booker and the other youngsters to get the ball in the spots on the floor. The game will be much easier for Booker. I think Devin Booker is going to lead the league in scoring this year, because the situation in Houston is a mess, right? I hate it for Steven Silas starting out as first-year coach. I hate it for him. But that's going to be a little touch-and-go situation. We'll see how that works out. I don't think Harden will have the offensive system to get the volume of shots up that he got up under D'Antoni. So to me, that means that Devin Booker could very well lead the league in scoring, right? Because the roster that they throw at you, right, for the Suns, these are efficient players. They're not high volume guys. So if they're efficient players, and yet you've got a leading scorer like Devin Booker, that means the offense can hum, in my opinion. So, okay, Rico Moai said Donovan is tripping. It's embarrassing to the league, says Coach Chuck 10. Okay. What do you mean by that, Coach? You talking about how guys don't progress and get better? Is that what you mean? What's up, Haven Mosley? Bardo's Breakdown Tribe member. I want to see what Golden State does now. Okay. They might have to change the way they play offensively, and I don't know about their bench either. All right. Now, Golden State made some quiet moves that was pretty interesting. All right. They got James Wiseman in the draft. Hold on. Let's check. Let me make sure. They got James Wiseman. They got the young man who made a mistake running his mouth, leaving Phoenix, that was not a good move, but he's a talented kid, talented young player. And I'm going to pull him up here in a second. Kelly Oubre. So Golden State got Kent Bazemore, who has started for the Atlanta Hawks. Kent Bazemore can play, can score, is tough. Brad Wanamaker can play, can back up the point positions, tough. He had really good year with the Boston Celtics. He's a vet. He's been overseas, played for Jamie Dixon at Pitt. He's tough, knows how to play, can score, can defend. And now, Klay Thompson's out, but Oubre can score. Kent Bazemore, lefty, can give you a different dimension, right? So Golden State quietly got better. Not better, but it's not as devastating of Klay Thompson being out with the pickup of Kelly Oubre, Kent Bazemore, and the like. Oh, the mess in Houston. You're right, Coach Chuck. It is a mess, and it's a little embarrassing, like you said, because of a large market franchise like that, with the circus that was their offensive philosophy, and it's whatever. Y'all have heard me go off about that enough. Rico is my guy. I want to meet that dude. I always agree with him on things. Kevin McDuffie and Rico Mowat, y'all need to meet. Y'all need to send each other a message on Facebook. Because, Rico, this is Kevin saying this on IG, saying that you guys always agree on everything. Haven Mosley, that's a great call. Haven always comes with everybody on Bardo's Breakdown comes with strong stuff, or they don't come at all. Because if you come weak to the hole, you get that thrown. Losing Kelly Oubre will hurt them, and you lose size in the lineup. Adding Chris Paul slows down their tempo, but the other transitions will definitely be a plus, says Rico Mowat. Okay, Rico. So Kelly Oubre, you lose him, and you've got Mikal Bridges, who's basically the same height, much more efficient player, not as athletic, but much more efficient. Better two-way player, in my opinion. You've got they got another wing that I'm missing. And I thank you, Coach Chuck. Love you being on here, man. Strong statement, Donovan. I just agree to disagree. I think Phoenix is going to be rough, man. Corey Lockwood says Phoenix will battle for the A seed. The West is loaded. Whose spot will they take in the West? Ooh, good question. The Trailblazers got to be careful, in my opinion, because Dame, CJ McCullough, they have taken turns being hurt the last 3 seasons, and they've had extended time off. And when those two guys aren't in, Portland doesn't seem to have the depth to kind of withstand those guys being out, in my opinion. Now, they went and got Rodney Hood, which is a good signing for them, because Rodney Hood really blossomed when he was in his first stint with Portland. He kind of found himself at the NBA level, and now he's going back. So that's a good pickup. But the Trailblazers and Oklahoma City are 2 candidates, in my opinion, that could be on the outside looking in based on the roster moves and things of that nature. Eddie Wells says, I like the Pelicans on paper, but you know it best, Bardo. Got to be able to coincide on the hard court. Could be a surprise team, though. Great call, Eddie Wells. And chemistry is huge. Now, I think when you look at the chemistry issue, four of the starters that I mentioned, four of the starters that I mentioned, they all played together this past season. Lonzo Ball, J.J. Redick, Brandon Ingram, and Zion Williamson. Now you throw a monster in at the 5, Steven Adams, right? So I don't know. Now here's a great question. Coach Chuck Tiz says, is Stan Van Gundy the right coach for them? Now, I thought Alvin Gentry was a good coach. I thought he played. The Pelicans had the fastest pace of any NBA team. You want to play fast with Zion Williamson. He's such a unique matchup situation. If you get out in the open court, you got to have multiple defenders to slow that freight train down in the open court. And when Zion gets better, he'll be able to put his head down and get to the rim, see the defense converge, and now a kick. And when he starts doing that, because I think he's really underrated passer, is Zion Williamson. We haven't seen that ability. He made a couple passes in his one season at Duke that let me know, wait a minute, this kid can really pass. If Stan Van Gundy, Coach Chuck, allows them to be up-tempo, New Orleans could be dangerous, in my opinion. Good call, though, Eddie Wells. Kevin Hayward. Honestly, anything would be an upgraded Phoenix. So while we're celebrating, it just doesn't take much to be better than they were last year. Okay, fair point. Point well taken. Alton Brown. What's up, Alton? Yes, they have upgraded, but they still have nothing coming in West 8th Street at best. Well, Alton, all it takes is for you to get to the dance. Once you get to the dance, now it's wide open. It's all matchups after that. So will we agree that if Phoenix got to the playoffs, that would be an improvement, right? That's what we got to look at. I'm not saying Phoenix is going to contend for a Western title. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that they're going to be very good because Alton Brown, let me ask you this. What did you think Oklahoma City was going to do this year? And if anybody said that they were going to be 5th in the West, I'm calling bullshit. I'm calling it out. Because nobody knew that Oklahoma City would be in the 5th seed in the West. And the majority of that was Chris Paul. He's that good of a leader. So, Rico Boy says, Dwight Howard, a.k.a. Big Goofy. I may have influenced the way the tribe feels about Dwight Howard because I can't stand his immaturity. I can't. Never been a fan of that. Corey Lockwood said it right there. Thinks Schroeder can be a starter, take pressure off of LBJ. Miami will return to the finals. Captain Fletcher is a Miami Heat fan. He got a little happy and thought that the Heat were going to beat the Lakers in the finals. Good call, Captain Fletcher. Tristan Thompson and Bam Adebayo going at it. Can't wait to see it. And they're going to go at it. Because Tristan Thompson, even though he doesn't carry himself too well on social media, he ain't real smart on that tip. That dude he'll battle. He will fight. He'll compete. Now, in terms of, sneaking off and having dinners with folk and trying to tiptoe and all that, he needs a coach for that. But nobody needs to coach his competitiveness because he will fight. Do you think Michael Jordan made the right moves this year? Was it enough to sneak in at the 8th spot in the East? Great question, AJ Guyton. Let me look up their roster because what I saw from Charlotte, they made good moves. I love Gordon Hayward. I love him. He's one of my favorite players. So they got Gordon Hayward. They drafted LaMelo Ball. They got Vernon Carey Jr., Nick Richards, and Grant Riller, who is a shooter. Nick Richards and Vernon Carey are bigs from Kentucky and Duke. They lost Nicholas Batum, Dwayne Bacon, Willie Hernan Gomez, and Ray Spalding, and they have free agent of Kobe Simmons. What's up, Tina Strong? Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. I like the move of Gordon Hayward, AJ. He's a star. If he can stay healthy, I think that was one of the missing pieces that the Hornets had. Can they get them in the playoffs in the East? I'm not sure. Because now you have an upstart Atlanta Hawks team. You have a Detroit Pistons team. Hear me out. Don't laugh at me yet. Hear me out when I break this down to you. The Pistons added Trevor Ariza, Jeremy Grant, Rodney Magruder, Zaire Smith, and DeLon Wright via trades. They got Killian Hayes, who some had the highest rated kid in the draft, Sadiq Bey, one of those Jay Wright coach Villanova fours that can play 4 different positions, Saban Lee and Isaiah Stewart. Isaiah Stewart played at Washington, is a tremendous upside, big, physical, athletic body, right? So they lost a lot. They lost a lot of players, and they still have John Henson, Brandon Knight, Thon Maker. All of these are restricted free agents. So Detroit will be better. Atlanta will be better. Toronto's not going anywhere. Brooklyn is going to be healthy. The Celtics are going to be what they're going to be. Philly's going to be what they're going to be, right? The Pacers will be better because Sabonis will be back. Oladipo will be back, supposedly, if he doesn't get traded, right? I'm missing somebody big. The Wizards. I keep hearing reports John Wall's 110%. Now with Rui Hachimura, they got Bertans back. They got Bradley Beal, who's the best, arguably the best 2-guard in the league. Arguably. The Wizards will be there. The Bulls will be improved because they got a freaking coach. They got an actual coach now. No knock to the other people on the staff of the Bulls. I just don't like Jim Boylan. I don't think he should have ever gotten a job. Mark Wade, UNLV royalty. Point Guard University. What's up, bro? Good to see you. So, to me, is that enough to get the Charlotte Hornets in the playoffs? AJ, I'm not sure. Because everybody looks at the West, but the East got better. I know I'm missing somebody. I'm missing the Milwaukee Bucks. So now we got the Bucks, the Raptors, the Nets, the Celtics, the Sixers, the Pacers, the Miami Heat, the Atlanta Hawks, the Charlotte Hornets. Orlando's better. All these teams got better. So will the Hornets get to the playoffs? I can't answer that for you, AJ. Great question, but I can't answer that for you. Kyle Kuzma actually regressed at one point. He can go to the home this past season. He was just a spot-up shooter. Okay. He didn't add a lot in terms of off the bounce. Let's see. I'm jumping over a few here. My fault, y'all. Woo, we got the board lit up today. I want to get some of these new folks on here. Let's see. Carol Poe Paquette, tribe member. Kevin McDuffie says Bucks, Heat, Celtics, Nets, Hawks, Hornets, Magic, 76ers. So Kevin McDuffie, AJ Guyton, agrees with you. He likes the Hornets getting in there, right? I don't know. I like the Hawks. I'm talking about teams that didn't make the playoffs. I like the Hawks. I like what they did. I kind of like what Detroit did. If John Wall can stay healthy, the Wizards will be knocking on the door. The East is gotten better. They've gotten better. This is a nice running errands in the car. Listen to Bardo's breakdown. You learn more about hoops here than anywhere. Carol Poe Paquette, thank you. I always appreciate your support and you being a tribe member. Thank you so much. Scott Britton, okay. I'm not a big fan of Stan Van Gundy. His players don't seem to take him seriously. Wow. That's a strong statement, Scott Britton. I'm not necessarily in disagreement with you. I'm trying to go back in my memory to think about the players that may not have been very good. Somebody's at my door. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm gonna have to think about that, Scott. If you got further comments, let me know. That's pretty interesting right there. Van Gundy needs to go somewhere. He's done. He's gone do the Pelicans what he did to Detroit, overpay people and not tweak his system. Old school coach. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Lester McCarroll Jr., the other Tribe member. This playing format is going to give promise to a team like New Orleans Pelicans. Some of the teams that make it to the 9th, 10th positions might be playing well enough to be dangerous. I agree, Lester. If similar to the NFL playoffs, if you look at the last 5 years in the NFL playoffs, the teams that are the wild card in either division or either conference, rather, have made it to either the conference championship or the NFL championship. It's who's hot and matchups, right? So I agree with Lester there. It's going to be interesting. Nola could be very, very dangerous. Haven Mosey, what are the Clippers missing? I think they need a more athletic big, among other things. They drafted Daniel Orturu. He's an athletic big with a lot of upside. They resigned Morris. They got Zubac back. And they've got another the Clippers have another kid that they brought in, I believe, via drafts. Oh, wait, I was going the wrong way. Los Angeles Clippers they got Serge Ibaka. That's a huge pickup for the Clippers. Great locker room guy, great two-way guy. He's a champion. He's an NBA champion. He can stretch the floor. He's tough. He fits the Clippers moniker. They got him. They lost JaMychal Green and Montrezl Harrell. That will hurt. Landry Shamet will hurt as well. But that Serge Ibaka pickup, they got Luke Kennard from the Pistons who can stretch the floor. Clippers are going to be okay. That's what I mean. I didn't mention the Clippers in the West. The NBA, y'all, is getting stacked. It's getting stacked. If you're not vying for playoffs or something, you're getting left behind. Can Denver maintain the momentum they had during the bubble? Also, the Nets be a beauty pageant contestant, or will they be a threat in the East? The Denver Nuggets, Jamal Murray and Jokic have as much playoff experience as NBA players twice their age because they've been in the playoffs and they've gone to the second, third round of the playoffs consecutive years. Denver's been in the playoffs and they've had, they took Portland to the 7 games in the Western semis last season. The season before that, they got to the second round and took somebody to 7 games. They've got a lot of playoff experience, right? And old man Paul Millsap is back for a year. They got Michael Porter Jr., one of the better upcoming stars. Bol at 7'4" is going to be a freak, right? Nikki Lane Perkins, a big fan of Serge Ibaka, as am I. So I think Denver's going to be in great shape. I do believe that. Now, the Nets beauty contest, me and you agree on this, Joe. The Nets are going to be – that's going to be an experiment to watch. It's going to be very interesting to see how Spencer Dinwiddie, who is a baller, intelligent, good locker room guy, Karis LeVert, baller, great locker room guy, leadership, right? Joe Harris just resigned. Jerome Allen, I love that young big, great rim protector. Who else? I got to respond to my son, y'all. This is my baby boy. He's asking, am I still doing the show? Because he wants to know how to come into my place. I got my kids trained. They're not kids. They're men now, but I got my young men trained. So I don't know. I've soured on Kyrie Irving. I'm sorry. I think he is the best next to Isaiah Thomas and Rod Strickland and Tim Hardaway. That dude maybe had the best handle I've ever seen, Kyrie Irving. He can get anywhere on the floor he wants to. But up here, between his ears and right here, I'm not so sure. I don't know. I don't question Kevin Durant. Has he come off a little soft, being sensitive on what people say him on Twitter? Yes. Sometimes he comes off a little soft. I'll give you that. But Kevin Durant's a baller. He went out with a torn Achilles and tried to help Golden State and really tore it. He's a gamer. I ain't got no problem. I love Kevin Durant. Love him. But Kyrie Irving, jury's still out. So I'm gonna let that go, Joe, and we'll see what happens. Let me get to okay. Kevin Hayward said, with all the teams you just named, I have to kick the Atlanta Hawks out of playoff contention. They will not make it. See, isn't that the beauty of this, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't it nice to be able to talk about an Eastern Conference that we can actually think that 8 or 9 teams can make the playoffs? Because in years past, it's like, all right, under 500 team, Orlando Magic kind of in there, Charlotte flirting with it. You know what I mean? But now the East may have 8 teams above 500 to make the playoffs, like we've grown accustomed to seeing in the West. All right. Oh, wait a minute. My man AJ Guyton had one last question before he was going to bounce. AJ said, my final question, I'll let the tribe have it. Is Big Goofy and immature Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer in your opinion? Yes, he is. Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer. He's won Defensive Player of the Year. He's led the league in block shots. He was a dominant big before his back injury started to derail him somewhat. Yes, he is a Hall of Famer. Even though I don't particularly care for his demeanor, he's a Hall of Famer. Great question. Oh, Miles Turner of Indy. High quality big. Good call, Rico Mowat. Let's see. So ain't nobody giving Washington a chance to make the playoffs, somebody said. Look, I love John Wall. Y'all know me. I'm a John Wall fan. He just can't stay healthy. But if he can stay healthy, I think the Wizards have a chance. Bertans just signed a big deal to stay with the Wizards. He can stretch the floor as well as any forward in the NBA. So now you got Beal on one side, Bertans on the other, Rui Hachimura, who's a nice young player out of Gonzaga, nice forward, active body. The Wizards have some. They've got some pieces. I think they can get in. Jeff Jarvis, I can reach in every now and then and pull a reference out from another sport. But let me get to these real quick. I want to share the screen with you so you can see the NBA. We talked about when it starts. Tom Thibodeau, New York. Steve Nash, Brooklyn. Billy Donovan, Chicago. Doc Rivers, Philadelphia. Nate Bjorkgren, Indiana. Stan Van Gundy, New Orleans. Steven Silas, Houston. Mike Dinu. So I had to look up how you pronounce his name. It's a French last name. And according to Google, it says Mark Dinu. That's how you pronounce the new head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tyronn Lue for the Clippers and JB Bickerstaff. This is his first training camp because he took over for John Beilein during the season. So you've really got 10 new NBA coaches this season. So as we get into the preseason games, into the start of the regular season, I want you all to remember all of these franchises have new coaches during the pandemic. So practices are disjointed. Games might be disjointed. Preseason games might be canceled or delayed, right? What's up, Larry? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for jumping on. So there's a lot of different moving pieces that we talk about. So we've got Clippers, OKC, Houston, New Orleans, 4 teams out of the West, Cavs. Wait a minute, did I miscount that? No, Clippers, OKC, Houston, New Orleans. Yeah, 4 in the West, New York, Brooklyn, Chicago, Philly, and the Cavs, 5 in the East with new coaches. So that's going to affect things moving forward to see who gets a quick start out of this quick turnaround for the NBA season. So I wanted you guys to get a look at that. All right. So those of you all who want to be a part of the tribe, text 312-847-2739. To be a part of the Bardo's Breakdown tribe and you want to be on the insider, text 312-847-2739. And as always, Bardo's Breakdown, Facebook.com/Bardos with an S, BARDOS Breakdown. You'll see the show. Join us, y'all. You obviously see we got an active group, right? Big Dave 2210 was good. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. But just want to give you all a flavor, a taste of Flying Illini t-shirts, flyingillini35.com. Go there and pick up your shirt. Pick up one for your people because, Flying Illini, where's my boy? Kendall Gill, Lou Henson. I give praise to the Flying Illini every day, y'all. Marcus Liberty and me, and then that's me there. Kendall Gill, Irvin Small, myself, and PJ Bowman, our senior year. So pick up the Flying Illini shirts if you want them, y'all. All right. Hold on, Larry. I think you're right. 312-847-2739. Join the tribe, brother. Love to have you in there. Give you insights. I'll give you behind the scenes stuff because there's a lot of change for the broadcasters this year in calling games from studio, and then there'll be some games I'll be on site. So tune in. Poppy in Jai. I hope I said that right. Poppy, where you coming in from, bro? Did Denver or Utah do anything this offseason? Yes, they did. I won't mention I was 5 during the Flying Illini days. That's cool, Kevin. It's all good. I'm an old head. I like rocking well, I tried to color it, but y'all see I did a really poor job of it. And I might not have to color it because we ain't on camera. Now, when I do Fox games, I think I'm going to have to be on camera. John Sirluck, good to see you. I would bring you on next time because I got to get off because in an hour 40 seconds it's going to end here and I'm about to lose my voice. And I'm going to be coming back later because there's a heck of a college basketball doubleheader that we'll spend a little time talking about. Thank you so much, you guys. I always appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting Bardo's Breakdown. Love you all. Please stay safe. We're still in a pandemic. Don't be foolish. Nikki, I can make a baby tea for you if you want one. Let me know. Love you guys. Talk to you later. Peace, y'all.